Yeah, Dayton was definitely not a great match for us. I think Dayton came in, played very well. I don't know that we were as emotionally engaged as we were after the conference tournament, which is, in some ways not too surprising because you're not playing for a conference championship. And on the other hand, you want to go out with that same energy and that same drive every time you compete. So tough loss. At the same time, we competed better as the match went on. It was a great warm-up for the tournament, just getting used to a more physical team than what we would see in our conference. And so that part was good. I think helps prepare us for our next opponent. Well, I think going into the tournament, we know just the emotional, all-in, investment that we have to make, that we made during our conference tournament, obviously is required every match going forward. And when we play in the NCAA tournament, you're going to play great teams. Everybody is playing for the right to play the next day. And that's just, it's an exciting time of year. There's no other time of year that's anything like this in any sport. That when you're to that, winner gets to keep playing. At any moment you could be done with your season, you could be done with your career. Could that be stressful? Yeah, but it's stressful in a good way. It's just the excitement of wanting to be able to keep your season alive. It definitely helps. I mean, every year is its own experience. Every team is its own. They get to carve out their own journey, and every year is just different. And so whether you've been there once, twice, 5 times, whatever, it's still different, every time. And what I like about our conference tournament is the young players, the younger players anyway, they were excited to play, and they found a way to work through those emotions, and that's a good, preparation for this event. Our seniors had been there before. They had won the tournament once before, and so I'm sure they had some words for some of the younger players who hadn't been there, and that was helpful, and we'll lean on them again as we go into this event, hopefully with a different experience than even what the seniors have had before, hopefully with the opportunity to win and advance in the NCAA tournament. Well, I think it begins with just the emotion and understanding that we can play with those teams. Whether it was beating Kentucky when they were number 10, or going 5 with Louisville at Louisville, going 5 with Michigan. Talking about teams that are from power conferences that are bigger than we are, that are just physically different than what we see on a week-to-week basis. It's good that our team has that confidence of knowing that we have the ability to do it. It's going to look a little different. We're not going to just match up size on size. We're not just going to everybody jump and see who's the highest. We have to do it a little differently. We have to serve very aggressively. We have to be in system. We have to defend at an extremely high level. And our back row players have to be exceptional this weekend, and I believe they will be. Well, they're a great team, and everyone says every year, it's a great team. It's a great team. Not too many teams were in the national championship match recently, as in less than 12 months ago. Not too many teams are great, truly great blocking teams. BYU is certainly that. They have an outside hitter that is one of the most dynamic players in the country, in Alexa Gray. There's a number of good players. Yeah, I think one of the things that they do well, they do better than you realize statistically, is they serve well. Just watching them in video last night and this morning, you realize, okay, that's probably a better serving team than probably people realize. Maybe they don't have it on the stats, or it doesn't get noticed because they're blocking so many balls. That's their big stat. They are a really good serving team, and so it's just, we know that we're going to have to be playing our absolute best that day. We're going to have to be very aggressive. We're going to have to take some chances. The reality is we don't want to play at 90% of our potential and they play at 90% of their potential, or we're going to lose. We have to take some chances to do some things to make them uncomfortable, just to be able to offset, some of the size, offset some of the things that they do, and hopefully running a very, very fast offense will give us a chance to limit the size of their block. Right. I know a pretty fair amount about Western Kentucky. They were located just about an hour away from my previous school. We played them every year for 10 years in a row, even though they're a non-conference opponent. Travis does a tremendous job there, just outstanding program. They've had a great year. Good ball control team. They always have been. They serve and pass at a high level. So they're a great opponent. They beat Wisconsin earlier this year, that I think is seeded 5th or 6th in the 6th in the event. There's a great team. We know that about them. They're one of the few teams that is, I believe they're top 10 in both hitting percentage and opponent hitting percentage. Just a true measure of a balanced team. Arizona, to be honest, I don't know as much about. Haven't seen them play much at all this year, and so we'll be learning more about them over the next couple of days. But right now, the vast majority of our focus is on BYU.